Cycling and alcohol. Now that's a match made in heaven. Post-ride beers, mid-ride beers, talking about ride beers. But what if cutting out alcohol could actually elevate our lives and, more importantly, our cycling? If you've ever considered taking a break from the libations, you've come to the right place. In August of 2023, I decided to stop drinking. Why? Because I started to feel like it was holding me back. It wasn't adding anything to my life. Today, I'll tell you exactly how I made this happen. Because I used to think I could never do that. And honestly, the people I admire most, the common thread amongst all of them, is that they weren't drinking. So I thought, why not try it? Although, my biggest fear, what if it makes life feel boring? And social situations, even more unbearable, especially considering how much cycling culture is intertwined with drinking. Events, rides, pretty much every aspect. But it turns out it wasn't entirely as I had expected. And while everyone's relationship to alcohol is different, my hope is that sharing my journey shows what's possible for others and can offer some inspiration along the way. Okay, right off the bat, there was one change that was pleasantly unexpected. According to a 2018 Medical News Today article, even moderate alcohol before bedtime can reduce restorative sleep by up to 24%. So without alcohol, my sleep went from spotty and unreliable, like cell reception on a gravel ride, to strong and stable, full bars, 5G, REM. Oh, sweet, glorious sleep. I've often thought of alcohol as a kind of drag brake on life. Sure, it's fun, a little buzz, have some good times, but that early morning ride the next day, ugh. I think overall it took about a month to really start to feel the difference. And the post-ride beer that I was so nervous about, this is how I hacked that. Really, the move is just anything in a can. I thought everyone was gonna be weird. No one cares about anyone but themselves, which means we're free to be exactly who we ought to be. And how I know this is true is I haven't told anyone that I stopped drinking until this video. No one's asked, no one cares, no one even notices. Just do your thing, no one cares. Another thing that I found fascinating was the whole alcohols is empty calories. But what does that mean? I actually looked this up. Alcohol has 7 calories per gram. And to put that into perspective, it's nearly as calorie rich as butter. But unlike butter, which offers beneficial fats, alcohol has no nutritional value. I'd probably drink this if it was full of butter. Unlike the carbs in our post-ride pizza or the protein in our recovery shakes, these empty calories don't help rebuild muscle, restore energy, or do anything beneficial for our bodies. They just sit there. And if you're consuming them faster than you're burning them off, they quickly convert to stored fat. That's like a lose-lose. But there's more. Alcohol also messes with our metabolism. When we drink, our body prioritizes breaking down alcohol over burning fats or processing nutrients. So we're not only adding extra calories, we're also slowing down our body's ability to process them. And if I'm drinking, I'm gonna cap it off with a late night burrito filled with French fries, ranch dressing. It's not a good scene. All the empty calories from the drinking, plus all the delectable delights. It's just, you know how many miles you have to ride to burn that off? It's like a 400-mile day. No, thank you. Ugh. So for me, cutting out the empty calories was essentially like cleaning up my diet without actually trying. And the benefits show up in how I feel, how I ride, and especially in my recovery. Several months in, and the benefits start stacking up like marginal gains. I fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up ready to ride, not groggy, and not questioning my life choices. Plus, I feel less achy and dehydrated from the night before. My body bounces back faster after rides, which has been a game changer as I, let's say, reluctantly embrace middle age. And my personal favorite, no more mood swings or sugar crashes from alcohol. I'm much more stable, focused, and honestly, that much easier to be around. Trust me on that one. You can ask anyone? Oh yeah, and the money. How much does the average American spend on alcohol a year?
Americans spend approximately $250 billion annually on alcohol. Individual spending averages about $583 per year per person.
Yeah, you can do a lot with that. If you're enjoying yourself, feel free to subscribe. Guaranteed to feel better than a can of butter. Another pleasant byproduct has been life feels much less chaotic without alcohol throwing me off. I'm not losing my bike key randomly or having to apologize for something that I've said to somebody as often. I used to get pretty nervous about the idea of socializing and not drinking, but there's one thing that I learned real quick that really helped this. It's that nobody cares. Even on group rides with people that I know well, if you just have a can of something, they don't even notice you're not drinking. It's fascinating. And as for on the bike, it's been a full mount upgrade. Rides feel physically and mentally smoother, recovery is faster, and I'm able to ride consecutive days without feeling quite as wiped out. And the post-ride beer, surprisingly, I don't even miss it. And the trick for that was to just find something to replace it with. For me, it's kombucha. For you, I don't know, maybe you like V8 or something weird. Self-imposed headache? Gone. Quicker recovery? Check. And the fear of getting a DUI after some ride that's an hour and a half's drive from home is no longer something I have to worry about. And there's something to be said about the mental acuity you get from not dulling your senses all the time. And this is especially prevalent in social situations. I feel like I've got Blu-ray vision while everyone else is stuck in Betamax. What the hell is Betamax? Oh, I got a great idea. If you're someone that's curious about taking a break from substance, ask a question down below. But if you're someone that has experience taking a break from substance, answer a question down below. EBD community is just too cool. Okay, how did I actually do this? Honestly, it wasn't some grand plan or big dramatic process. It was more of a quiet process to just see what would happen. First, I told myself, let's just try it for 1 week. No pressure, no big experiment. Let's just see what happens. And something I've found that always helps when I'm switching a habit is to find a good replacement. There's a billion options out there, and it's kind of fun to find the one that works for you. Then I started to pay attention to why I was drinking in the first place. Was it habit, reward, or was I just trying to mask certain emotions and feelings I didn't want to confront? This step is by far the hardest and most rewarding. One thing that really helped me personally was not making a big deal out of this. I didn't want to tell a lot of people because 1, I didn't want to set myself up for failure, and 2, I didn't care what anyone else thought about this. This was a personal journey for me. Thinking of this as a low-stakes experiment while focusing on what I was gaining opposed to what I was giving up was super helpful. And the better sleep, quicker recovery, and improved fitness were all nails in the coffin that I was making the right decision. Once you do it, you're like, oh, duh. Now, I was actually curious. Does a beer after a ride actually mess with recovery? I found a 2001 Healthline article that shared a study that reported consuming alcohol after exercise reduced muscle protein synthesis by 37%, even when protein was consumed alongside the alcohol. What the hell does that mean? The reduction of protein synthesis impairs our body's ability to repair and build muscle, potentially diminishing the results of our activity. Essentially a sub-ideal thing to do after a ride, or a workout, as the normies call it. So, was quitting alcohol worth it? Honestly, yes. What started as a small experiment has had compound effects. More energy, more clarity, and a better time in the saddle. But to see all this put into practice, you'll have to watch this video, where I accomplished something that would have been much, much harder had I been drinking, which in most cases I would have been. Kind of the secret weapon, not drinking.